Matt Ishbia, very blunt on why they fired Coach Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah, we got to get the next hire right, and we will. The team and the roster that was constructed by James, Josh, the scouts, the front office is much better than a 36-win roster. So there's a lot of reasons why Coach Bud's not here. I'm not going to get to all those reasons, but definitely believe we should have won a lot more games and been a lot more competitive during those games as well. And so I wish him the best, but it was the wrong coach for our organization and for that team. And at the end of the day, you can blame me for it because I'm the owner at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
That raised some eyebrows when he said that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, look, you have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. I don't care if they had me, you, and Mitch playing alongside of them. You feel like you should win more than 36 games.
Mitch, what do you think about that?
I'll try to run point better than Tyus. How's that? I won't for the clarification.
You know the point. You've got one player who's considered one of the greatest players that's ever played the game, still playing at the highest level. And you've got a guy who until this year had been a perennial all-star, an Olympian, and on his way to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And you would think that you could surround those guys with Mo, Larry, and Curly and win more than 36 basketball games.
Now we're Mo, Larry, and Curly. Now the three of us.
Yes.
You
didn't want to go with us
Gambo
three.
And Burns. Hey Mo.
Yeah. All right. Jack, Janet, and Chrissy.
We got your point.
Could have had Jack, Janet, and Chrissy from Three's Company.
We went for the Burns and Gambo show.
You keep using the word.
The point is, you could sit there and they had good players around them. They had good players. Now, was it the right fit? Probably not. They didn't have any defensive-minded players.
Yeah.
They didn't have the versatility and the length. They didn't have the youth that they needed outside of Dunn and Oso Iguodala. It took so long for Budenholzer to figure out how to play them. So, in the end, he's sitting there and he's saying he believed that we should have won a lot more games. Okay, so did we.
Yeah.
So we all thought you should have won a lot more games.
This one made me squirm a little bit when I heard him say it. Okay. And it made me squirm on number one, because it was a pretty scathing indictment of Coach Mike Budenholzer. But I also thought, and I kind of referenced this in the last segment too, it almost seemingly puts all the responsibility on the coach versus the way the roster was constructed. Hey, the scouts, James, Josh, we all thought this was a much better team. And while we can all think that, it's really, really obvious based off of some of the deficiency that you talked about defensively, some of the things, the way they wilted when they got punched, the way they didn't respond well to athletic teams or physical teams or anything like that it went beyond the wrong guy was coaching them, and I know Matt is not just going to make a coaching change and leave everything the same. He can't do that. They can't sell that to you. You as a Suns fan would never buy that if they gave that to you. But to just say that, hey, we just thought it was better than a 36-win team, we clearly had the wrong coach, makes it almost sound like it was just a coaching thing. It was not just a coaching thing.
Clearly.
What I am more interested in, really, truly, is the answer to this question. You will get the next coaching hire right?
We got to get the next hire right, and we will. The team and the roster that was constructed by James, Josh, the scouts, the front office is much better than a 36-win roster. So there's a lot of reasons why Coach Bud's not here. I'm not going to get to all those reasons, but definitely believe we should have won a lot more games and been a lot more competitive during those games as well. And so wish him the best, but it was the wrong coach for our organization and for that team. And at the end of the day, you can blame me for it because I'm the owner at the end of the day.
Yeah, so that's, and it was very similar to the answer that we just played a second ago, but that to me is the question now. You've had two bites at the apple, and you've got it wrong both times.
Right. So what makes you think?
So you need to figure out why you're evaluating these guys wrong, why you're picking the wrong guy, whoever it is who's doing the picking. Whoever it is who's in charge of these things, whether it's Matt, whether it's Josh, whether it's James, whether it's the cumulative effect of all of them together in the same room, clearly you guys as a group aren't doing a very good job picking head coaches of the Phoenix Suns. Do better. Be better. Figure out a better process. Yeah. Figure out a better way, because you can't keep firing these guys after a year and expect any kind of roots to grow with this basketball team.
Communication between Frank Vogel and the team wasn't very good. He tried to be somebody he wasn't. The team didn't buy it, and it just didn't work. Mike Budenholzer never connected with his basketball team. He was a terrible communicator, one of the worst I've ever been around. And that was really bad. So they've got to figure out, and that's why I'm ruling out Taylor Jenkins and I'm ruling out Mike Malone. And I believe they're going to go with a younger up-and-coming coach, and they're not going to win the press conference. So mark my words on this. I think when they hire their next coach, it's not going to be the big flashy guy that's had all these wins and been in the league forever. I think they're going to hire somebody that they feel will be a better communicator with the players that they're going to have on this roster. Communication has been a 3-year problem. It goes back to Monty Williams and DeAndre Ayton and Jay Crowder, and then Frank Vogel with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and then Mike Budenholzer with Devin Booker and Bradley Beal and Yusuf Nurkic. It has been a 3-year problem of coaches being able to communicate with players. Now, is it the ego of the players versus the ego of the coaches? Probably.
Sure.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
But as a coach, you can't always get what you want.
No, and you have to have better effective strategy of communicating with players in today's day and age. And clearly the last 2 guys, Monty had it with some of the guys, but not with all the guys. So if you want to throw them in there too, fine. Clearly the last 3 guys have not been able to reach today's NBA play. You're not going to reach all of them in the room, but you certainly have to reach the right ones in the room in order for this to work. Now, I saw your tweet earlier today.
Okay.
There was a report from somebody at Hoops Hype, I think, Mike Scotto, who suggested Mike Brown as a candidate for the Suns coaching job.
Right.
There are a lot of names out there. What did you tweet about this one?
Well, what I tweeted about it is, and this is just the reality, is that they have not put a list together. There is no list of head coaching candidates yet for the Suns. They have not met on it. So anything that you're hearing is just speculation, and it's fair to speculate. And some of those names may be good, but not all of them are going to be. So nobody has a list that is correct. Here's the 7 guys they're going to go. There is no list. The list does not exist. Okay, because as I said, we'll talk about front office changes that could be coming.
Figure that out first.
Yes. So anybody is saying, I've got this list. Here's the list of all the players, Chris Haynes or whoever else. There is no list. They're speculating, or they're hearing guys who could be. These are guys who could be considered, but there is no list of guys that they are set to hire. That does not exist.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.